We're here at Build 2017 in not so sunny Seattle, close to the home of Microsoft, where we learn more about its vision for the future of computing.
Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella kicked off the event yesterday by talking about how Microsoft is going to extend more into the cloud and also the intelligent cloud and intelligent edge computing type things, basically ways to get Windows hooks and Microsoft's hooks into all sorts of devices all around the place. He also revealed that Windows 10 has reached 500 million active monthly devices. It's a pretty big jump. The growth is kind of slowing a bit, and originally Microsoft said they wanted to hit 1 billion devices by next year. That's probably not going to happen. They even told us it wouldn't, but still some steady progress. And we're learning more too about how other platforms are kind of extending. We learned about the Cortana Skills Kit, which is a way for developers to tap into Cortana smarts and voice control intelligence in all sorts of products. So we already saw the Harman Kardon speaker that's kind of the Amazon Echo competitor type thing. But basically this is a way for Cortana to be everywhere, which is kind of cool.
We also heard that HP and Intel are also making their own versions of Cortana type devices, so we'll see more of that coming soon later in the year.
We heard a little bit about the next big Windows update, the Fall Creators Update, which, as you can guess, is coming this fall. It sounds like Microsoft is just doubling down on this idea of allowing people to be fun and creative and build things. A couple of new additions this time around. So there are some new features that tie into the Microsoft Graph, which sort of unify your computing experience across different devices. So that's pretty cool. You can actually just pick up where you left off is a feature that lets you kind of close your laptop and just start looking at the same websites or the same documents you were on your phone or something.
There's also this feature called Timeline, which is kind of like a feed on your laptop or your phone to show you all the different windows and pages that you have open on all the different devices, no matter what you're looking at that on.
Yeah, so you could basically just like go back in time, and if you were working on your resume or something yesterday, just go right back there. That's pretty cool. Yeah. And also, what else? OneDrive, on-demand file storage. It's kind of a way to simplify the way cloud storage is working for Microsoft. So you could have all of your desktops syncing to OneDrive and instantly access those files intelligently from any device. Seems like a cool feature for OneDrive. Yeah.
One of the updates that I really liked was Clipboard, which lets you transfer things that you've maybe copied from your laptop over to your phone seamlessly without having to send it to yourself in an email, which is kind of lame. So that's a new update that's nice.
Yeah, and the big idea here, right, is that Microsoft is tying together different mobile experiences with its desktop experience. So even though Windows phones aren't really a thing right now, they're tapping into iPhones, they're tapping into Android devices, and that's kind of an important thing. And I think the idea is a Windows 10 PC is kind of the center of your computing universe.
It's a hub.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
It's also sliding into your other phones. But speaking of creators, earlier when you mentioned Fall Creators Update, they also released the Story Remix app, which by the looks of it is actually going to make everyone a potential Hollywood director. At least I know my selfie videos are going to get more explosive, so stay tuned for that.
It's a way to like bring together your photos and your videos in cool little, I don't know, little short films, and you can add special effects. It's pretty cool.
And it's actually kind of intelligent. It uses AI to identify which character you want to follow and kind of generates a video for you if you don't want to do all the legwork yourself. So that is interesting.
The Windows Store is also getting some major new apps. iTunes is actually coming to the Windows Store, which is kind of crazy to think about. That follows Spotify. They announced that last week. Also, Autodesk and SAP are bringing enterprise apps to Windows Store as well. It's a good thing because it means more developers will actually pay attention to it rather than releasing software like they used to. You know?
Speaking of developers and the Windows Store, they also announced 3 Linux shells that you can use in the Windows Store. This is not big news for us consumers, but developers are going to be able to code for 3 different ecosystems in just one area.
Yeah, well, yeah, you have one PC and you can code across multiple Linux distros. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. Speaking of all these different platforms that you can work on, Microsoft also announced this fluid design system. That's basically a way for it to kind of create an OS that feels and is coherent across all kinds of platforms, regardless of whether it's a phone, a laptop, a virtual reality headset, or even if it's something that has no screen.
Yeah,
so that
like a speaker. Yeah.
That is more an extension of the way it plans to reach out into more devices, sliding Windows into your phones and your other gadgets across your home as well.
I mean, there's going to be some visual changes, like small things, like they're going to use lighting and material design a little differently. But I think the big thing is the philosophy of how they're building, how developers can build apps on Windows. Kind of a big upgrade, because right now Windows 10 looks kind of flat. not many colors going on, there's not many special effects in the UI, so this seems to change all of that. Yeah.
It's going to roll out sort of slowly at first. It's going to launch with the Fall Creators Update officially, but we're going to see developers make full use of that. So the real changes here are going to happen kind of later in the year, maybe over a few more years, but basically Windows is getting a big change. Another benefit of Fluent Design is the way it's going to spread to mixed reality, and here at Build 2017, Microsoft showed off the new mixed reality headsets, at least previously already announced the Acer mixed reality headsets, as well as an HP dev kit and mixed reality touch controllers.
That's the new thing, yeah.
That is the main new piece of hardware we're seeing here this year. It's basically the Oculus Rift controllers, but it has 6 degrees of freedom, and it's using a world sensing mechanism, which will make it more interactive, make it easier to interact with your environment.
Yeah. The key is you don't need to install special sensors to use these controllers. You just pick it up and use one of Microsoft's new headsets, and those use inside-out tracking, so no sensors required, it just sees the world. So kind of cool. They look a lot like the Oculus Touch controllers, but they're built by Microsoft, so that's kind of interesting.
Too bad we didn't actually see the device here at Build 2017, so we're going to have to wait till later in the year to really get an idea of what it can do, but for now the applications seem very interesting. It wouldn't be a Build conference without some kind of fancy HoloLens demonstration on stage, so this year we weren't disappointed. We had Cirque du Soleil show off how they were using HoloLens to create and come up with the stage designs for their performances. It was very interesting visually, very attractive to me anyway. But there wasn't really any news about HoloLens. It was more entertainment than it was actual news.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool to see like a big room scale type design like Cirque du Soleil. They're dealing with big stages, you know, big props and things like that, and being able to see where that stuff would fit in a physical space, I think is pretty cool. We also saw a couple of demos like them using Japan Air is using HoloLens to repair jet engines or to train people to do that. So it's all still pretty early. We don't know how the mixed reality idea is going to translate to consumers. Microsoft has done a lot of very unique pushes, even with Windows Phone, that never really took off with consumers. So looking forward to seeing what's going to happen next.